Welcome back to the Dear Video Games Podcast, our open letter to our favorite hobby. My name is Curtis, and I write about video games, and I am joined always as my favorite host, Bay Area rapper, Voltaire Staffanelli.
Hey,
What's going on, man?
I how you doing, man? Doing good.
I'm doing good, doing good. Like I said, I'm coming down from being a little tipsy off the drinky drink, but hey, it's all right.
It's life, you know.
Yeah, I'm doing all right now. I'm ready to
Yeah,
talk about some games. To start off this channel, I've been meaning to
lots
do
going on.
yeah. To start off this episode, I actually been meaning to do a Horizon Forbidden West first impressions. I'm actually going to cancel that video because I feel like it's just too far out to be doing that kind of video, and I'm gonna
Mm.
actually post that video or post the script to that video on something else that I'll be announcing here on the channel. So that is my fault. I should always do better with that, and I feel bad because I'm like, I should have had this video out. I had a lot of great things to say about the game, and yeah,
Shit like that
it'll
happens
be
though, you know. That
yeah,
happens all the time. Yeah.
totally. And I'm it's gonna get out there. You guys are gonna know exactly how I feel about Horizon Forbidden West. And little sneak peek, it's positive. I do like the game. I'm
I
still
was gonna
playing
say,
it.
it seems
Almost
like
done
you
with it.
really enjoy it. Yeah.
Almost done with it. We'll
Nice.
see how my PlayStation goes after this.
Is it like would you say it's very long, like the campaign?
I don't. I feel like with Horizon Forbidden West, you can make it a long, drawn out, depending on how many of the side quests you want to do, how many of the extra activities you want to do. I think you can make it a very long, drawn out campaign. You can make it a very long, drawn out story. But I'm kind of like, if I'm at the level, I'm gonna do it. Like I'm gonna go in and continue the story and see what goes on. So we'll see.
I tend to drag out games like that because I like to be over leveled for when I go into stuff.
I
You
hear
know,
that,
I like just
yeah.
sort of like overwhelm the boss. You know.
Yeah, he's just
So
like,
I tend to kind of drag it out of it. Yeah. Shit, this guy.
you got the thing that will kill me.
Yeah,
in like one
exactly.
hit. Yeah.
Uh,
We're gonna start off this episode with one of my favorite segments. Of course, when it gets closer to like the new month, we always talk about gaming in said month. So, of course, this month it's gaming in April. We just had an amazing March. We had Ghostwire Tokyo. The Ascent came out for consoles. The PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4 to be exact. We had Kirby come out. WWE 2K22 come out.
have you gotten to play Kirby? No,
We're gonna get to that. We'll get to that.
Okay.
We'll get to that. Definitely, we'll get to that. Triangle Strategy came out. I'm just kind of going through another game we'll talk about later in this podcast. Gran Turismo 7 came out. Didn't Elden Ring come out? If I'm not tripping, did Elden Ring come out?
I think that was this month. Yeah, maybe the end of last month. I think that was this month though.
It was in February,
I think
was
that
it?
was this. Maybe it was the end of February.
It was the tippy end of February. Wow,
Yeah.
I need to play this game. The tippy end of February. So yeah, like March was a big one. They had a few heavy hitters in there, but April calms down a lot. So let's go through April. Voltaire, let me know what you think about some of the games that we're gonna be talking about here. Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga.
I kind of can't believe they're still making Lego games.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously I can, but it's every time there's a new one that comes out, I'm like, oh, they're still doing those.
Yeah,
That's
they're
cool,
still
I guess,
doing it.
yeah.
You know, not bad games.
No.
Not bad games. By
They're
any
not
means.
bad. Yeah, I don't have anything really against them. Like when they first came out, like same with the movies, I was so skeptical. I should say cynical about it. I was like, wow, what a blatant cash grab to make like a Lego version of a game. And it is, but to their credit,
Yeah.
they're actually good.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And you know, with those kind of games, I remember having so much fun with those kind of games.
Yeah, I like
I was a little
the
bit
Lego
younger.
Batman and Robin is on Game Pass, and I was playing it a couple months ago.
Those are just
And
genuinely
the
fun
360
games.
It's really fun. Yeah,
They're just fun games to
Yeah.
have. But yeah, I like the fact that they are still doing them. This one comes out for everything under the sun. So if you I know you guys are seeing me move my stuff around a little bit. I'm just trying to make sure I'm matched up here with Voltaire on his stuff. Okay, there we go. Screw it. That's gonna work. Anyway, I used to play. I mean, when it comes to Marvel, when it comes to anything Batman, like you said, Lego always does it well because the
Mm-hmm.
I guess you would say the setup of these Lego games are very fun. They're just really fun. Anybody
Yeah.
can pick up and play them. They're really about collecting and fighting in like a really fun manner. They're almost like beat 'em
Mhm.
up games. In
And it
modern
does
day beat
sort
'em up
of
games.
have like a feel of like when you know, um, when you were like a kid, like like we're sort of the same age. We were kids in the '90s, and
Yeah,
it kind of feels like back then when you
right.
would get a new Lego set or whatever, and you'd play with your little Lego guys. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like
yeah.
it sort of has that feel to it. Yeah.
Mm. Totally, no, totally. Next game is a game that surprisingly is going to be day one on Xbox Game Pass, and it's funny because it is a PlayStation property. It's MLB The Show 2020, 22. I don't want
I
to say
was
2022. It's
just
22.
talking about how funny that is
Mm-hmm.
because I know we'll talk about the PlayStation's attempt at
Mm-hmm.
matching Game Pass later, but
Mm-hmm.
it's funny because part of what I was laughing at is that they're not going to do day one on their newest games,
Yeah.
and so it's it's like your own game is day one on
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 Xbox.
Microsoft's thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, and it's funny because like this game last year was the first time it was ever on an Xbox console. Now it's
It's a
Game
pretty good
Pass.
game. I'm not like
Yeah.
super duper into baseball.
Mm.
Like just in general, like I can play Madden just because I can turn my brain off and just kind of enjoy the like football or whatever of it.
Mm.
But like with baseball, it's not. I don't have as much of like a nostalgic sort of like enjoyment of it. But
Right. Right.
it's a pretty good game. I played the last one because it was on Game Pass, and it's
Yeah.
I like that you can make these really goofy teams and shit like that, and the announcers will like say the name of the team. You know what I mean? I don't know. I just think that's pretty funny.
Yeah, they always say like whenever you make a guy and you make him your name, they always
Hmm.
say it.
Yeah.
It's
I had a pitcher named like Professor Triceratops, so they were like, now to the mound, it's Professor Triceratops.
oh, that is insane.
I'm like, hell yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's coming out April 5th. So of course, if you're a baseball fan, I'm definitely gonna be trying it out because it's on Game Pass. I'll be trying it on this bad
Yeah,
boy
yeah.
right here. I'll definitely be picking it up. This next game, this game, I don't know. I don't even know what to say about it because it's like it was a game that was supposed to be big on the PlayStation 5. It's now coming to every console, and
Hmm.
I hardly hear about it. I knew it was going to be a flop from day one, and it just really hasn't hit the heights it should have. We have Godfall Ultimate Edition.
Oh, that's right. I didn't even know that was coming to is that already on Xbox?
That
I
is
don't think it is.
no, that will be coming to
It's not.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, no, no. It's gonna
I
be
keep hearing about it
coming
because
to the
yeah,
Vive.
because it was advertised when they first announced the PS5,
Mhm,
and it was supposed to be like its killer app, like its launch title,
mhm.
and then everyone was just like, "This kind of looks dumb," and then when it came out, people were like, "Yeah, I can confirm that it is dumb."
It was just like Destiny with swords.
Mm.
Mm. I
But
just
I mean, I feel like Destiny is Destiny with swords.
I
Can't you get swords in that game?
feel like Destiny is the Destiny with swords. And man, look, I'm gonna kind of ramble
You-
off the other ones because I don't really think anything else is really. I haven't really heard anything else of any of these other games. Chinatown Detective Agency, April 7th.
You haven't heard of that?
Never heard of it. Comes out the same day as Godfall. Chrono Cross, the Radical Dreamers edition. Sherlock Holmes, the
Sweet.
Devil's Daughter.
Interesting.
Split Stream. The House of the Dead remake coming to Switch. They always make all those House of the Dead games.
See, I haven't heard about any of these, but the House of the Dead is the first one that really piqued my interest
It's
right
like,
away.
whoa.
Because
There's gonna be one I think that's gonna pique your interest. You're gonna say, "Oh, I forgot they were doing that." Watch. 13 Sentinels. Don't know anything about the game. Cat Cafe Manager.
oh,
Game of the Year contender. This is.
yeah, definitely, yeah.
I'm looking it up right now. It's a simulation made by Roost Games for Switch and PC. Don't really have much on it. Like that's if you want to
So
own
mysterious.
a cat cafe, there you go.
Yeah.
Road 96. Don't know what that is. Okay, so next game. Star Wars: The Force Unleashed for Switch.
Oh yeah, I forgot they were doing that.
They were doing that. When I saw
Yeah,
it, I just saw it right now, and I was like, they are doing that.
Yeah, yeah, that's funny because yeah, I remember hearing about it not too long ago, and I'm trying to remember if I've played the Forza. I think I played it a little bit, um, on Game Pass.
Yeah.
It was like I don't know if it's still on Game Pass, but I think it was like last summer, and I played it a little bit. And it's definitely a game that could use a remaster because it's fun, but it definitely shows its age when you
Mm-hmm.
play it nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
Not a bad game to put on the Switch. I think that would be
hmm
fun to kind of play on the Switch. You know what? I
the
might.
Switch is like the Switch in power is like comparable to like the PS3,
Yeah.
you know. And
Yeah.
so, in my belief, if it could run on a PS3 or a 360, it should be able to run just fine on a Switch.
Right.
You know what I mean? And
Right.
so, why not just put all of those games from that generation on the Switch? You know?
Uh, I think. I think this game is gonna be really good on Switch, and I'm even debating on getting it because you know what, it comes out on your favorite holiday, April 20th. So we'll see. Well, I think it's gonna be. I think they'll be fun to play on Switch. Honestly,
Yeah.
to jump back in, yeah, totally.
Yeah, that's the weed number.
Yeah, definitely. Zombie Army 4 Dead War. Don't I know what that is, but I don't play it.
That's interesting. Okay.
I'm gonna jump to the final game that's coming out in April that I'm really, 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 really
hmm
excited for. It's. Do you want to guess what it is?
Oh man, it could be anything. That's my guess.
We actually I think we talked about this game 2 episodes ago.
Okay. I don't have a
Any
guess.
ser-
Sorry.
no, no. It comes out on
No.
Switch. It comes out on Switch. I'll give you
Shit.
that.
It's the Barbie Horse Adventure, Mary Kate and Ashley Mall Rescue
Oh man, that would be
remastered.
sick. And Kratos comes out of nowhere and just
Yeah.
destroys it.
Yeah.
Uh, it's a Nintendo Switch Sports.
Oh, that's see, that's funny because I should have guessed that, but like I literally forgot about it. Like
Yeah.
completely just left my brain. Um but to be which is weird because it looks good.
Uh huh.
Like it seems like it'll be if it's on the level of Wii Sports, it'll be good, you know? Wii Sports is easy to meme, but it's a great game.
I don't blame you for forgetting about it because I think I forgot about it a lot because they haven't announced.
They're not really talking about
They're
it.
not talking about it exactly.
Yeah. There's no marketing or anything
There's
like
been I think
you
there's been 2 directs and they haven't even said anything about it.
cuz yeah, and then the last thing I saw them upload was a minute and a half video saying Breath of the Wild got delayed.
Which we will talk about. But yeah,
Which we will talk about.
which
Yeah.
we will talk
That's the
about.
last thing I remember them updating.
Yeah,
Them even
that's
uploading. Yeah, but they don't really talk about they're not marketing it, which surprises me because you'd think there'd be this that there really is this built-in fan base with Wii Sports because it's like one of the best games on the Wii. It's like it's very simplistic in its graphics and mechanics, and there's lots of memes about different aspects of it and everything. But it's genuinely a great game, and it's like when I first heard about it, when we were talking about it a couple episodes ago, I was like, "Wow, this is something to really be hyped about." And then I completely forgot about it because
Right.
they just don't, they never bring it up. They're all
Right.
talking about Kirby and what have you, which I mean, great, but you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's like yeah, I completely forgot about him.
No, I completely understand that. And like I said, they hardly talked about it. They haven't showed all the other sports
Mm-hmm.
activities that you can do. They haven't showed any of that. So it's like
Yeah.
that's why kind of I think a lot of people forgot about it. And even watching the show, you're gonna remember it. Like, oh yeah, that is right. That is coming out at the end of April. So that's
Mm-hmm.
a game that I'm really, really, really excited for, and I cannot wait to try out.
Yeah. I haven't been playing my Switch as much lately, but
Yeah.
I'm ready for some newer games to come out.
Totally, totally. And this is the month, April 1st, which is in 2 days, is the month that I will finally play Elden Ring. I'm going to finally play
Nice.
it. I'm going to finally pick it up and start playing it because I should be either very close to finish Horizon or finished it if I'm real lucky. So, moving on. PlayStation's new subscription service. They
Yeah, I
announced
just watched the
this.
thing about it this morning. I was
Mm,
kind of putting off watching about it, and then yeah, it's interesting.
right.
It
It is
I
interesting.
don't know, like for the whole explanation of it, it seemed like it would be like at least as good of a deal as
Game
Game
Pass.
Pass, but then I'm not so sure if it is. You know?
So I'll run it down real quick. So the initial thing is like PlayStation Plus Essential, and that will give you PlayStation Plus and the PlayStation Now, I guess, and that is like $9 a month, $25 quarterly, and then $60 yearly. The PlayStation Plus Extra will give you an added catalog of 400 plus of the most enjoyable PS4 and PS5 games, including blockbuster hits from PlayStation Studios.
The most enjoyable. I like that they say that.
Most enjoyable. So,
So the ones that aren't on there suck.
exactly. And then like the also third party partners, that's gonna be $15 a month, and then $40 quarterly, $100 yearly. PlayStation Plus Premium is gonna add even more games, which is 340 additional games, including PlayStation 3 via cloud service, which you can only play those on the cloud service, which I think is ridiculous. And then you get like PS2, PSP, PS4.
And that's the tier that that really makes it worth it, because then you can play the PS1 and PS2 games on your new TV. You know what I mean? Because that's like the big reason why I want there to be more backwards compatibility. Like, I have an N64 and a PS2, but when I hook them up to my when I like hook them up to my flat screen, it was
sorry about that technical difficulty.
But yeah, when I try to play, those old consoles on my new TV, they look all blown out. If it's like a dark room on an N64 game, it's just completely pitch black and you can't see shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so whenever there are these old games in the newer consoles, it's really nice because they've sort of like retrofitted them to like be able to actually play. So, it's a little. I see what PlayStation's doing here, where the top most expensive tier is where you finally get to play these old games, this backwards compatibility, which people have been wanting since day one.
Some type of backwards compatibility, and I think PlayStation, out of all three companies, PlayStation is the worst at legacy. They're the worst at bringing their backwards compatibility up. When you look at Xbox, they have, if you look at Game Pass, you pay $15 for
Game Pass is great because it has all these kind of Xbox, like original OG Xbox and 360 games, and they have Fable 1 and 2. They have shit like Blinks. They have like more obscure stuff like that, and like what's the other one, Klonoa or whatever.
There's another one in Fusion Frenzy, is it? They got
something like that. Yeah, they have these ones that like I remember reading about in like IGN like 20 years ago, but never really seeing because they were always kind of obscure, and they even have those on there, and it's like
I think they have Jet Set Radio, like a lot of games. And you know what? It's like Xbox might not have, when it comes to like their library, and they might not be as deep as PlayStation, but you know who is? Nintendo. And Nintendo does it better too. You just got to pay a little bit more.
Nintendo isn't great about it, but especially historically. But recently, they've gotten better, and it's like even at least they're doing something. You know what I mean? A lot of people have a lot of complaints about the Nintendo online subscription. I personally think it's great because even if they're not like 100% perfectly emulated, I can play Ocarina of Time. I can play, Diddy Kong Race, or not Diddy Kong. I think it's coming, but you know what I mean. I can play all these games,
Yoshi Island,
and it's
like that.
Yeah, and like, at least they're doing something, like.
Exactly, and Nintendo. I mean, you get to play that added. You pay that added price, and it's not even that much because the Nintendo Online is already like $4.99, and then you pay that extra price, and then you get to play all these. You get to play SNES
at all.
games. Yeah, you get to play SNES games. You get to play Nintendo 64 games,
and Sega Genesis, which surprised the hell out of me when
which
they
is nuts. So
yeah, Now I expect the moon from them. Now I'm like, okay, Sega Saturn, Dreamcast games, come on,
that would be
Nintendo GameCube, you have to do
That'd
it now.
Sweet. I just think, I don't know, the 3-tier system. I think it's a little. I think it does get a little pricey towards the end, just because you want to play. I think they're really trying to grab people by the nostalgia, And
Because you want to get the largest tier. If I
mm,
had a PS5, I'd be like, yeah, of course I'm going to get the big tier because I want to be able to play PS1. I want to be able to play, whatever, the like
mm,
medieval, like the original one before they remastered it. You know
right,
what I
right,
mean?
right, right. I'm a. The funny thing is, I'm like the other side. I'm like, I'm just gonna play the essential. I'm just gonna pay for the essential because I'm like, I don't. The nostalgia thing, I get it, and like I'm a person that is an advocate for like video game preservation, and I want to see these games, but I just can't with the PS3 streaming. I think that's a little ridiculous.
That's strange to me
It's
because
very
like
strange.
they say like, oh, it's hard to figure out how to emulate PS3, but it's
Mhm.
like you are Sony. Like
Yeah.
like what are you talking about? It's your console. You should know how to
Mhm.
do this. Like
I think
I
the
don't understand what the
PS3
issue is.
development of that actual console is a little bit of an anomaly in itself, and I think that's why a lot of
I've heard a lot about that, yeah.
third party parties are like third party games are they had issues developing for this console. That's why Skyrim was crap on there, and that's why other games really
Mhm.
had trouble porting themselves to this console. So and now PlayStation's paying for it now because it's like now like people want to play God of War, people want to play the first, Last of Us,
Mhm.
and it's like, well, you can only cloud stream it. And it's like here in America, we don't have the best Wi-Fi. We don't have
Yeah.
the best internet, so it's like it's always going to be choppy and
Mhm.
latency issues and things like that.
Well, it's funny because, even where I live, which is, the Bay, like right outside of Silicon Valley, we have supposedly great internet, you know what I
Mm,
mean? But even here, it's sometimes, with the streaming, I'll play some Xbox Game Pass games on cloud if they're really huge and I don't want to download
mm,
them, like MLB The Show or something.
yeah.
But it's still kind of 50-50. You know what I mean? It's like half the time it works great, it plays perfectly, and then half the time it's so choppy that it's like
Yeah.
I I don't I you can't it's unplayable. And if
Mm,
I lived in it's like, yeah, if I lived 20 miles from where I live now, where the Wi-Fi isn't as good, you know what I mean?
mm.
What are you gonna do? Like
Right.
you're screwed out, you
Another
know?
thing that I saw is like I was gonna get Elden Ring for my. This is why I say right now Xbox is really doing its thing. They're really doing their thing right now because
Killing
I
it.
I went on there. I wanted to buy. I was like, okay, I'm gonna buy Elden Ring for my Xbox Series S. It qual Elden Ring qualifies for smart delivery. Now you might not. You might look at that and say, okay, cool, I can like jump all my progression to there. That means they had to have done a deal with From Software. From Software is not with Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
That means Microsoft had to have done a deal with From Software to like, yeah, you can move all your gameplay or all your progression, your character, everything, and start exactly where you're at if you move from Xbox One to Xbox S to Xbox Series X. Like, that
Mm-hmm.
is amazing. This is a
Yeah.
brand new game, probably game of the year, and you can do that. Like, that is, to me, that just tells you how good Xbox has been, and they thought ahead, and the
They're
business
going
that they've done
so
is so
hard.
great.
Like they're
It's great.
so aggressive, and like it's like we talked about last time. They have like they're like the richest company on earth or something like that. You know what I mean? They have
Something's going on with them,
like
right?
unlimited money, and they're like, we can just throw money at this. Like
Yeah.
I maintain that there's no way they're making a profit with Game Pass. Like there's it's incredible to me that they're able to do what they do with it. You know,
Unless
it's
in the highest tier of Game Pass is $15, and the highest tier of in a month, and the highest tier for PlayStation is 18.
mm-hmm.
And it's like with Game Pass, you're getting the backwards compatibility, and you're getting amazing third party games,
brand new games.
and the biggest part
And like
of
you said,
Altair,
third party
dude,
too.
is like
Yeah.
I don't mean to cut you out. I'm so sorry, but
No, no.
I have to say this part. The part that's really crazy about it is the fact that PlayStation exclusive games, PlayStation from PlayStation Studios, will not be day
Mhm.
one on that. And then
Yeah,
this is the issue. The funny thing about that is like you have a property in MLB that's going to be day one on Microsoft's
on Xbox.
Game
Yeah.
Pass. That is insane. That's crazy to me.
It it's not going to be day one on PlayStation Plus.
No, it's not.
So you either you can buy it for $70 on your PS5,
Yeah,
or you can buy the competitor's console and get it for free.
for free. That exactly. That exactly. Isn't it a joke how this is going right now? The console
it's
war.
you know, I remember I watched this kind of like YouTube documentary about PlayStation, like not like a couple years back, and they
Yeah.
talked about how there's this sort of pattern with PlayStation where they get real good, like
Mhm.
with PS1 and PS2,
Mhm.
and then they're on the top of the world. And so they get super full of themselves, and then they stumble and they fuck up, like with PS3, and then Microsoft gets ahead of them for a while, so they rebuild their reputation,
Yeah.
and then they get good again with PS4, and then and then now we're seeing it again. They were on top of the world. Everyone loved them with
Yeah.
PS4, and
Mhm.
then now they're just shit in the bed again with
Mhm.
PS5.
Mhm.
Like, but I
I
think
th-
the difference now is they don't really care
mhm.
because they're still making all this kind of money,
Mhm.
like because they're still selling all their consoles out, but they're just selling them to scalpers or whatever
Yeah.
now.
Mhm.
But they don't really care because they're like, oh, we sold 10 million consoles, and it's like to like one guy who like
To like
has them
one
all in his
guy that's gonna
warehouse.
sell it for like
Yeah,
700.
yeah,
They're getting ready
yeah.
for a very, and another thing that I look at this is like, we're getting ready for a very digital gaming world. We are.
Mm-hmm.
When it's looking like this, for somebody that is for video game preservation, that could be a really good thing. The only thing is, we could rely more heavily on remasters and remakes, which
Yeah,
video game preservation is really, really, really to its core about preserving games and preserving history at its original state.
like as it was, yeah,
Right.
when it came out, like yeah, because like you have the Series S just like I do. It doesn't even have a disk drive,
Mm-hmm.
it's digital only,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that is where games are going in the future, and it's fine because I really like my Xbox. It's actually really convenient that all of it just downloads right onto it, even the small handful of games that I've actually purchased on there. But like, uh, yeah, it, it's more and more there. Like in the like, there used to be this thing where when you bought the new console, you could just plop the old games into it and play it. You know what I mean? Like with the Game Boys and like the PS2 and stuff. But nowadays, it's like it's rarer and rarer. We're like
Mm-hmm.
begging companies to like preserve their games,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like with PlayStation, you have to spend the most expensive just to play like a selection of their older games. With like Nintendo, they're doing well with the NES and N64 games on the Switch, but they're also shutting down the Wii U and the
Mm-hmm.
3DS eShops and just which essentially deletes just hundreds of games that you can't get anywhere else. And so, yeah, that was a bit of a tangent, I guess, but yeah, that's
I think a lot of people had to hear something like that though, because you
I
know,
yeah.
yeah, it's an issue that it needs to be addressed because the gaming industry in gaming is starting to hit those large numbers like 50 years old. So it's
Mm-hmm.
something that they preserve paintings, they preserve music, they preserve
Yeah.
films. We need to start preserving our history and our median. Um,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. We need to stop acting as if it's a debate that video games are art and just take it as
Mm-hmm.
fact that they are, and say that that's important to preserve them because whether you like them or not, they are a form of art that has been around, as
Mm-hmm.
you've said, for half a century now.
And in 2022, that shouldn't even be a. I mean, I
It
could
shouldn't even be a debate.
see,
Yeah.
George R. R. Martin said it. I think in 2020 or 2019 was like, video games are almost art, and I'd never understood that. And it's like
And
now,
now look who's making a video game.
exactly. Look who's part of one of the biggest video games ever
Yeah.
created. Wow, it's funny how the
No,
world goes.
no, 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 no. Yeah.
We can honestly look. That's 30 minutes into the podcast. We can talk about this all day. Let's move on to CD Projekt Red has announced their new Witcher game. It's going to be on the Unreal 5 engine, so they're not going to be using that red thing, the red engine, whatever they used for the other ones.
I
Any
will see that in 2030.
exactly? It seems like it's going to be very far off. What have you played The Witcher? Are you excited for the new Witcher game?
I played The Witcher 3 on what do I have that on? Steam. I played it on my PC when I first got this laptop that I have. That was like, I like it. I don't know if I ever played it all the way through. I put a bunch of hours into it, but
Yeah.
it's how I like I said earlier, with the way I play RPGs, I just kind of do every little side quest that I run into, and so I end up putting a shit ton of hours into it, and sometimes never finishing the
Yeah,
campaign.
yeah. It's funny
Yeah,
how
but
you can play it on a laptop, and it seems like The Witcher is a game that it's big, it's huge, it's long,
Hmm.
and you can put it on almost anything because it's like
Yeah.
Switch has it. You can play it on your
Apparently, it
laptop.
runs pretty well on the Switch.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, it's
from what I
crazy.
hear.
It's crazy. Uh, has Cyberpunk turned me off to a new Witcher game? Absolutely not. I think they lit. Well, I
I
don't
wouldn't say
know.
turned me off of it, but I would say it made me a bit more skeptical. You know,
Skeptical, of
I'm not like
course.
immediately hyped because I only ever played Witcher 3 maybe a year before the Cyberpunk stuff, like all like the actual game was like announced and stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
so by the time it was announced, I was like, "Oh, cool! This looks awesome! Like CD
Mm-hmm.
Projekt Red is great and everything." But
Yeah.
now I'm like, I don't know. They're 1 for 2 with me right now. You know
Yeah,
what I
yeah.
mean?
No, no, I
So
completely understand it. You know what? Hopefully, CD Projekt Red has learned the lesson. They can't be.
well,
They're like the second most disappointing game of all time, next to No Man's Sky, and hopefully,
and No Man's
they
Sky
learn
turned it around eventually.
exactly, and hopefully, and you know what? I have Cyberpunk 2077 for the newer consoles, for the next gen consoles, on my list to play during the summer. I will see. I will
Hmm.
jump into it and see how it goes. Hopefully, by the time there's even more hot fixes, so when I play it, it's an even better game.
Yeah, I'm hoping that eventually it comes around to like a pretty good approximation of what people were expecting because like and then at that point it'll probably be cheaper to buy two. Like that's sort of what I did with No Man's Sky.
Mhm.
Eventually, I mean now it's on Game Pass, but I actually bought it on PS4 back in the day, like maybe a couple years ago.
Right,
But it was only like $10. You know what I mean?
right.
And at that point, all the reviews were like, it's where it should have been at launch time now, and it
Mhm.
is. It's really fun to play. So I'm kind of hoping that I get that sort of same luck with CD Projekt with
Yeah, CD Projekt Red.
Cyberpunk.
Oh,
With
Cyberpunk.
CD,
Yeah,
I'll just buy CD Projekt Red.
yeah.
You know,
Just
ten
buy that.
bucks. Yeah,
Yeah, I got you. Great, great.
yeah.
Next thing we're gonna talking about is the crazy thing is I knew this was gonna happen. I didn't get my hopes up. I knew it was gonna happen. Breath of the Wild 2, Legend of Zelda,
Delayed.
has been
No.
delayed to spring 2023.
I'm not super torn up about it because, like you said, I sort of expected it
Mm-hmm.
because it starts off saying we were shooting for a 2022 release, and I was like, really, you were?
We weren't.
I didn't know that. Yeah, I didn't know that. I thought it would be 2025. You know, like I
Yeah.
thought it was hella far off. Like, where's Metroid Prime 4? That's what I want to know.
Right.
I know Breath of the Wild's getting delayed. Where's Metroid Prime 4?
I
You announced that 100 years ago, and we haven't heard
I wear
anything.
my Sheikah shirt,
Nice,
not that, but my
nice.
Sheikah shirt a lot, and people are like my Sheikah Slate shirt, and people are like,
Hmm.
oh man, have you seen the second one? Like, yeah, man, it's coming out this year. Da, da, da. And like, as a person, as a real gamer, I'm like, no, I don't think
No,
it
it's
is,
not.
dude. I don't think
Yeah.
it is, man.
Well,
Like,
I mean, every Zelda game gets delayed
mm-hmm.
because they have their window that they want to launch it in, but then they keep adding these ideas to it.
Yeah,
Plus, that's their big thing. Like, I know Mario is like their true mascot, but Zelda is like their prestige game. You know
right,
what I
right,
mean?
right, right.
And I think like they have to make sure that it lives up to that every time,
Yeah.
which is why like the first time I ever really remember following a video game was Ocarina of Time, like when I was like maybe 7 or 8 years old, and like I remember it kept getting delayed, and people were like, "When is this game coming out?" Like, and then it finally came out, and it's one of the best games ever, you know. And Majora's
Yeah,
Mask, same thing. It was
yeah.
supposed to come out in 1999, and then it ended up coming out in 2000, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just think um, Breath of the Wild itself was announced in like 1973, and it came out in 2017. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I just for like a whole new console, like a whole different console than it was announced for. So like I most of the time a delay is I never try. I try not to freak out about delays because like they say, a delayed game can be good eventually, or yada yada.
Yeah.
But like with Nintendo, especially, I feel like with some other companies, it might be a bit of a red flag if they keep delaying it. But when it comes to Nintendo, 9 times out of 10, when they delay a game, it comes out much better. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like it's because they have this whole new idea that they want to add to it
Mm.
that they wouldn't be able to launch it in the state that it'll be in
Yeah.
in Christmas or whatever. You know?
And what, 2-3 years ago, I mean, they completely tore down the whole game and changed over studios of Metroid Prime that was working
Yeah.
on Metroid Prime 4. So
Yeah,
That game
I
I
have.
could see being very far off.
I'm not sure if we're ever if that's it that's ever gonna come out. To be honest, like, or it might be a Metroid Dread situation where it comes out 10 years from now because like they were making it, and then like a year later they said, "Oh, we we murdered everybody who was working on it because their work was bad,
Oh
and
my
we've given the
goodness.
game back to Retro Studios."
Yeah.
And then like a year after that, this LinkedIn listing was found where Nintendo was looking for a game director for Metroid Prime 4.
Oh
And
man.
I'm like, oh, we're never gonna see it.
They were
It's never coming out.
yeah. That's tough. That's tough. So
It's
move
not gonna happen.
yeah. So Breath of the Wild 2 delayed till spring 23. Sorry about that, you guys. Sorry to break the
Hmm.
news. Hate to be the bearer of bad news. Um, let's play a quick game. Delayed or on time. There's gonna be. I'm gonna name. I actually added a few games. So there's three. There's seven. There's 7 games.
Hmm.
Yeah, 7 games. Yeah, 7. Okay, and and I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna ask you the game. Me and you both are gonna answer if we think it's gonna be delayed or on time. All right.
Okay.
Bethesda's Starfield, slated for
Oh,
November
delayed.
11th. Delayed.
This year? It's slated for this year?
Yep. Delayed.
No way. There's no way. Because you said
Delayed.
November 11th, and I was waiting for a year after that. And then I was
Nope.
like,
2022. November 11th,
no
2022.
way.
Delayed.
No.
Delayed. Me and you both delayed on that. We'll see. We'll
Oh, yeah.
see who gets the most right. But me and you both delayed
Yeah.
on that.
Yeah.
God of War Ragnarok.
I'll stay on time.
Okay.
I'll stay on time, I think. I've been seeing a lot of commercials for or not commercials, but like people talking about it. So
Yeah. I want to say on time, but just to have a little bit of I'll say I'm gonna say it's gonna get delayed, but it's not gonna be a massive delay.
yeah. I could see it getting like a couple weeks to a month or something, but
Yeah.
I feel like I think they started working on it like immediately after the last one came out. So I feel
Mhm.
like they've just kind of been doing nothing but working on it. So
Yeah. I can see it being on time, but I'm gonna say a delay, but it's gonna very, very tiny. You're saying on time, I'm gonna say delay, small delay. Bayonetta 3. I'm gonna say that's on
Ooh.
time.
Yeah, actually, that was my first reaction because I haven't heard a lot about it,
Yeah.
but also I don't think that Platinum is really working on anything else. Because
There isn't a
yeah.
date, but I don't think we're gonna get a message saying, "Hey, we gotta prolong it."
Oh, see, there you go. You can't
Yeah.
delay if there's not a launch date.
Exactly.
that's that's a
Uh,
cheat code right there.
and what I mean by even if they put a launch date, I don't think they're gonna delay it. I don't think they're gonna delay
Yeah.
Bayonetta 3. I think they'll have it in mind. I think they got it.
Hmm.
The next game is Splatoon 3.
I'm gonna say delay on that.
I'm really surprised you
Most
say that.
mostly because like I just feel like Nintendo loves to delay games. Like
Uh-huh.
they just whenever a game is about to come out, they'll be like, new announcement about Splatoon 3, and then it's just gonna be, the director of Splatoon 3 in like a squid hat and a nice business suit with a somber tone going speaking Japanese, and then like the subtitles are gonna be like, it's gonna be delayed for 6 months.
No, I'm surprised you didn't say Did you say Bayonetta delayed? But you said Splatoon is gonna be
I
delayed.
I said Splatoon's good. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I actually
I
surprised.
I
I
could
think
see
that's
it
on
going either
time.
way because it seems like they've been really working on it the whole time, But I just know that Nintendo keeps doing that. They did that with Animal Crossing. They did that with Smash. I think they're just going to keep on keeping on.
Okay. I'm gonna say on time for Splatoon. So I think I'm on time for Bayonetta and Splatoon. You said Bayonetta's on time. Splatoon isn't. Splatoon will catch
Yeah.
delay, which is sad.
That's what I'm guessing.
That's gonna hurt.
I hope not because
Yeah.
it looks great. I love Splatoon 2, and I hope Splatoon 3 comes out tomorrow. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But,
that'd be
like,
great. Love that
yeah,
game.
yeah.
Next game. I mean, I know
I'm just looking forward to more Splatfest.
it'd be sick. Next
What?
game. Look, I know the controversy around it. She is a terrible person, unfortunately.
Oh shit!
But
Yeah.
I gotta,
I know where this
gotta
is going.
mention it. It did get a holiday release recently. Hogwarts Legacy. On
I actually
time
thought it
or
was
delayed.
sooner than that for some reason. I thought it was like next month or something.
No, no,
I
no,
don't know
no,
why
no,
I
no,
thought
no.
that.
And you
At
know
the end of the
what?
year?
That should tell you it might be on time because they did show a lot. Um, I actually think it's on time. I think it's on time, and they still have 6 months over
Mm.
over 6 months to
Yeah.
develop.
I mean, unless something horrible happens to J.K. Rowling, I'm probably not going to play
Exactly.
it. But I mean, I want to stay on time for that one
I
because
think we're
it
both
does
on time.
seem like it's really far along
Yeah.
from what I
Yeah.
have seen.
All right.
Yeah, because
Okay. On
because
time.
it would have got leaked several years ago, right? Like
True.
it got
True.
leaked like a long time ago. So I feel
True.
like they've been working on it for longer than it seems like they have.
True. Exactly. Kind of forgot about that. It did get leaked a while ago. I did a video here on this channel about it. But yeah, it got leaked. And then they
That's how I learned
showed
about it.
I think it was at a PlayStation Play. They or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and then they showed it, and then we get it now. They did a whole breakdown of it. I don't. An actual release date we'll get, I think, after summer, and I think it's on time to come out for holiday 2022.
Yeah.
When it gets a release date, I already know what you're gonna say because I'm gonna say the same thing. The next two, when they get a release date, will they be delayed from that release date? The next two, okay. Grand Theft Auto 6.
Yeah, no. Yeah, that's gonna be at least 3 presidents from now.
Well, okay. Let me ask you this: if they said spring, GTA games would usually come out. Let's say October, sometime in
They have to
October.
wait for GTA 5 to stop making money. I don't care what they say, but they're gonna wait for GTA 5 to stop making money,
O-
which is gonna be never.
October,
We will be we
October
will be on our
2025.
deathbeds.
October 2025. Is that game gonna come out?
Maybe. I'm gonna say no matter what day that they say, it'll be delayed.
Oh, so
No matter what.
you know,
They can say 2050.
okay. You know what's gonna happen? You know what's gonna happen? This is what's gonna happen. It's gonna actually be October 2026. You know what they're gonna do?
Mhm.
They're gonna have October 2026 out of nowhere, and then they're gonna shrink it down, and then it's gonna pull up GTA, and then they're just gonna pull the 6 from October 26.
Oh, there you go.
Over.
That's
That's what they're gonna
yeah.
do. That's what you know.
I
What I'm
thought
saying?
you were
Can
gonna say they're
visualize?
gonna zoom in on the 2.6 and then they're gonna zoom out and they're gonna be like release date 26/21. I'll be like, okay, then maybe on time. Maybe
Jesus.
600 years from now.
Oh, Jesus. That's so long ago. Dude, dinosaurs will play it, like, or
Yeah.
whoever's on Earth was gonna play it.
Yeah.
It will catch a delay because that's the Rockstar nature, isn't
What's
it?
the Rockstar way? Yeah.
It's the Rockstar way.
They're not gonna come out with it until there's a dip in the profits of GTA 5. I
Yeah,
honestly, cause
I got you.
that's the way they are nowadays,
I
and
got you.
it's kind of a shame because they used to be the best,
Yeah.
but now they're kind of just another one of those money hungry AAA producers,
Yeah.
and it's like as long as GTA 5 is making $1 billion a year or whatever, it's like the most profitable single piece of
Mhm.
media ever created or something ridiculous like
Yeah,
that.
something ridiculous. And let's note that
Yeah.
they did come out and say that they are working on the brand new title of the GTA thing. I might want to look it up because I don't know if they said they just started. I wouldn't want to say they just started production, but
Yeah.
they wanted to kind of get it out there.
They
Saying
said
it is
they're
coming.
working on it. Yeah.
So it is a few years away. It is a few years away.
It's at least a few years away. Like in all seriousness, I would be surprised if we got it by 2025.
Right.
Like I think it's probably later than that. Like next console generation. Like you know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
it could be that far away.
Okay.
It's weird to think that far in the future, but
At
it
the
could be
tail
that far
end
away.
of PlayStation 5, Xbox Series
Yeah.
X is wow.
Yeah.
So the next game, it's funny to even think about this game because Starfield has to come out first. Elder Scrolls 6.
Elder Scrolls. It seems so far away. Like it's a similar thing with GTA 6, but possibly even more so because like you said, they have to come out with a whole other game first. It's just
And we just said that game is probably going to get delayed.
it seems so far away. It seems 2030, like it seems so far. And maybe it won't be. Maybe it won't be that ridiculous. Maybe they're farther along in working on it than we think they are.
Mm,
Like they're very secretive sometimes about their games. Maybe it'll be
yeah.
2026 or something, but it just, yeah, it seems very far from now. It's like
It
something
does.
I don't even really think about it because it's like,
Hmm.
why what's the point of thinking about it right
Yeah,
now? Because it's
exactly,
like,
exactly.
yeah,
Gonna be
yeah,
an old
I
man
just,
by the time it comes out.
yeah, I'm gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna be like, oh, I've already got some gray hair. It's gonna be completely Santa Claus by the time that game comes out.
uh, yeah, it's gonna get delayed. It's gonna get delayed. Even if they say even if they put a date 5 years from now,
Hmm.
I think it'll still catch a delay. It doesn't matter what date
I'm
they give
glad
it.
they're working on it, and I'm sure it's gonna be good. I
Mm.
love Skyrim. Like I will, I will fight. I will kill and die for Skyrim's honor. You know what I mean? Like, it's a great
Why
game.
is it so long we're getting another entry in the Elder Scrolls series? Why has it been so long?
I think it's a similar thing with GTA 5 where Skyrim just kept making money,
Oh yeah,
Like
yeah, that's true.
they kept being able to just re-release it on everything
Yeah,
and people like me contribute to it because I'll just buy it on everything it comes out on. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
exactly.
Because it's just a fun game to play, and
You
I
can
just
walk up to a construction site, pick up a brick, and probably start playing Skyrim.
yeah, that's what it. Yeah, you just like, yeah, exactly. You punch a stop sign hard enough, and you just start playing Skyrim. Like,
You're in freaking white run.
yeah,
Um,
exactly.
the next thing we're gonna talk about, you wanted to talk about this. This is uh Gran Turismo. My goodness, what in the
Yeah,
world happened? We were just
what is
talking
going on with that? Uh,
so well about that game, and then they said, "Oh, now the
yeah,
real game coming out, so this is what y'all get."
it's crazy that they did that. It's a similar thing to what Cyberpunk did, where the reviewers, and what I realized after the fact was that I must have played the version that they have reviewers play.
Mm-hmm.
Because I remember just unlocking cars left and right and thinking, "Oh, this is really cool and fluid and really fun."
Mm-hmm.
But then the actual game comes out and it's actually full of microtransactions. Hell, this shit's locked behind like lots of grinding and stuff. And yeah, it's such a disappointment because like it could have been a really good game. It could have been like a real fierce competitor to games like Forza,
Mm-hmm.
But instead, it's seen as like this sort of like dishonest kind of cash grab because that's the way that they're acting about it.
Yeah, dishonest cash grab is a good way to put it. For people that don't understand the ins and outs of it, Gran Turismo came out, and then the reviewers got a review, and the playtesters, from what Walter is saying, is the playtesters played it, and there wasn't any microtransactions, any pay to win kind of element in there, and then
Yeah,
literally an update comes out day one and they throw all these microtransactions, pay to win schemes in it, and people are fed up, already pissed about it.
yeah, and rightly so because it's like it's a $70 game.
Mm-hmm.
You're paying full price for it. And then they have these sort of like Fortnite style like weekly passes and shit, and it's like the reason Fortnite gets away with it just because Fortnite is free to play.
Yeah.
You know, you can't charge people money for your game and then have all these loot boxes and stuff. That's why people don't like FIFA and Madden and all that because it's like those games you either need to get rid of all of the loot box bullshit or make them free to play.
Right. Right.
And it's and when you tell reviewers and playtesters and people who get the previews of the games, oh, it's going to play like this, where you unlock games, you unlock new cars and parts and get currency as you do races, and you're going to be in a the fanciest car in the game within a couple of hours of playing. But then a day after the game comes out, it's like, oh, actually, no, that you can either pay $40 out of pocket or spend hundreds of hours.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
It's
that's
ridiculous.
bullshit,
And it's like
Yeah.
you're buying these new cars, and everybody else has to grind extra hard to even think about getting these cars.
Hmm.
And then you're taking it to online, and you're winning races because you have the better car because you spent the money, and that's the issue.
Exactly.
That's the issue where
It's
I'm
it's
like, oh, no,
Battlefront
no, no.
2 all over again.
It's terrible, and I couldn't believe that Sony even looked at this and said, yeah, yeah, go ahead and do it. Yeah, that's fine, go ahead and let that happen because that's absolutely ridiculous. It's
Is
absolutely
they have a
ridiculous.
great track record for their first party games, and then they're just kind
Amazing.
of
Yeah.
throwing it out the window right now. You
Mm.
know?
Amazing. Amazing track record. Um,
Yeah.
everything they're doing is wrong. And
Yeah.
hopefully, I think they did say they are fixing it. We'll meet that back here on the podcast, but that's a terrible thing. It's a terrible thing. Have you played Kirby Forgotten Land?
I have not yet. I plan on getting it at some point. Just just cutting back on spending for right now, but
Mm,
definitely plan on getting it sooner than later. But it looks good, and the reviews I've seen of it say that it's good for the most
mm.
part. That's a bit on the easy side. That's to be expected from Kirby games. I
And
feel
I
like.
think people need to start looking at that and saying, you know what, this is a game that's not it's not necessarily a game that's going to cater to me and you. Even though
Hmm.
we would still play it and like it, they do have two kind of modes when you jump into the game. They have like this adventure mode where it's a little bit harder, and then they have like
Okay.
another mode that's catered to like people that just kind of want to enjoy the game, enjoy the story. And watching my girlfriend play, who is not an adventure gamer whatsoever, um, she did like the first mode that I just said, not the first mode that I just said, but the second mode I just said, where it's just like it's easier, more
Hmm.
resources, it's not as much as a challenge, and she's enjoying it, and it's
That's
driving
good.
me nuts looking at her play it because I'm like, just go over there and just end him. Like she's collecting everything and doing all this and backtracking, and I'm like, oh no, man, like just go through it, hurry up, hurry up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But it looks good. I
Just getting
thought
the
it
most out of
was,
it.
yeah, exactly. It looks it's great. Um,
Hmm.
I thought it was gonna be more open. I thought it was gonna be more of an
I've
open game.
One of the reviews I watched, I think it was Nintendo Life, said that it's more Mario 3D World and less Mario Odyssey.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly what it is.
which which I don't mind. I like 3D World. I have that on my Switch.
It relies on that typical like really good features, really good things that Kirby can turn into,
Hmm.
and a lot of fun with those different kind of like I guess you would call them I forgot what you would call them, but like powers that Kirby can do. It relies on that, just like a like Super Mario World, or like even
Hmm.
what Odyssey does. It relies on those like creative features and stuff like that.
I'm a sucker for Kirby games. I really like I really like the original back in NES and Super Nintendo, and I'm a
Yeah,
huge fan of Kirby 64.
yeah.
And so I've actually been looking forward to this game. So I definitely is going to be one of the next games that I play. What I've been playing a lot lately is uh, not a lot, but I started playing it yesterday. I started playing it a few hours the past couple of days. Is Guardians of the Galaxy,
Okay, I
the
heard that
Square
one's good.
Enix Guardians of the Galaxy. It's I like it a lot so far. I'm still in the beginning of it, but I really enjoy it. It's very funny. It's really captures the sense of humor.
Yeah.
It's good at doing its own thing. It's not based on the movies. It's not Chris Pratt or anything like that.
Hmm.
Um, but it's I like it a lot. Like it's been described as Square Enix kind of trying to make up for the Avengers,
That's what
which
I
I
would
could
have thought.
totally see.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I would have thought. That's what I would. That's cool. I was gonna. I just after the Square Enix thing.
It's on Game Pass actually.
You know what? I might even try it because you know what? After the game, after the Square Enix one, I was like, nah, I'm not even gonna play anything that they play or make when it comes to that kind of
They've been
universe.
messing up lately.
Yeah, they've been really messing up with that, so I'm like, nah, I'm good. I might try it since it's on Game Pass. You don't really lose anything,
That's
do you?
that's exactly was my thought process too.
Probably
And it's
time.
a
That's
single
it.
player game. It's like it plays similar to something like Jedi Fallen Order. I think maybe I would
Okay.
compare it to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have to try it. We can end off on this. Did you watch the first episode of Halo?
I have not seen that. What is that on?
It's on Paramount Plus.
I think I have Paramount Plus. I'm
Yeah.
not exactly sure which subscriptions I have and which ones I don't because
Whatever comes out of
some
my
I
bank
pay
account.
for, some I pay for, some I get because of like the little Comcast box that I have, and
Yeah.
some came with Xbox, and I don't know which ones are which. But what I'm gonna watch tonight, what we have booted up to watch after this is the first episode of Moon Knight on Disney Plus.
Oh right, that did
And
come out.
I've
Yeah.
heard that looks really good. I'm a
Mhm.
sucker for Marvel stuff. I've heard mixed reviews of the Halo episode one, but
Yeah.
it seems interesting. I
Mhm.
want to see it because it seems interesting. I'm a big fan of Halo 1 and 2. I'm a big
Mhm.
fan of the campaign of Infinite, even though I know it's
Mhm.
been getting a lot of heat right now.
Mhm.
But so I've been wanting to see it, but I'm not sure if I have Paramount Plus.
I'm not sure if I have Paramount Plus. Yeah.
Yeah.
First episode just not as happy as I should be about it, to be honest with you. But you know, I'm not gonna ruin it for you because I feel like you might watch it. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, they do something in there that I feel like they shouldn't have done. That it's
Oh,
not
okay.
their right to do, and I'm half on it. Like there's some things I like, and there's a few things I don't. But I'm gonna watch the
Mm-hmm.
second episode, and I enjoyed sitting there watching it until the thing happened, and then I got really antsy and moving around like, I don't like
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
So yeah,
I mean, people have been wanting a live action Halo adaptation since the very first
for
one
a
came out.
long time,
Yeah,
very long time, man,
yeah.
very long time.
It's something that lends itself really well, I feel like,
Mm-hmm.
to a sci-fi action thing.
Yeah.
You know, I've been wanting them to do like a Metroid film for like a similar reason. Just I feel like, you know, just lone assassin in a robot suit
Mm.
fighting aliens makes for a great movie. You know.
There's a woman, I don't know her name. Um, and it was like at the Oscars or whatever, and I think she's in some type of movie, but she looks, the dress she wore, the way she wore her hair, everybody was losing it because she looked exactly like Zelda.
Oh shit,
Exactly like Zelda. And
that's
everybody was
awesome.
like,
That's the one thing I'll say about the Mario movie is the actress they have playing Peach
mm,
looks so much like Princess Peach in real
really?
life.
Wow.
It's kind of bizarre. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, this woman, I I retweeted it. I don't know if you saw it, but like I
I
was
have to
just
look at
like,
that. Yeah.
this is
I'll
your
see.
Zelda right here. Make it happen. Find Link, and please don't make Ryan
They had
Reynolds.
cast me as Link.
Do not make Ryan Reynolds Link, bro. Like don't do
It's
nothing
gonna
like
be
that.
it's gonna be Chris Pratt.
No, oh God. You know, and I love Idris Elba, but he don't need to be Link either.
Oh shit! Yeah. Okay, I'm seeing the tweet now.
You seen it now?
She does look like she even has the pointy ears.
Mm-hmm.
That's weird. Yeah, I mean that's not weird. I don't mean to be mean about it, but yeah,
Yeah. No,
that's
I mean
yeah,
she's a
yeah.
beautiful
She should.
girl, but
Yeah. I didn't mean
wow,
to.
she looks just like Zelda.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, somebody was
yeah.
like,
That's funny.
"There's your Zelda, everybody," and I was like, "Let me."
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "Oh,
Yeah, definitely looks like it.
oh
That's
man,
funny.
oh man, yeah, that's Zelda."
Mm-hmm.
Thank you guys for coming back to the Dear Video Games podcast. That is exactly right on the money. We started on time. We're closing on time, man.
Look at that. It's like we know what we're doing.
Yeah, it's like all of a sudden there's no like mishaps with
Yeah.
the electronic.
That's crazy. Yeah. You would think that we've done this before.
A lot of big announcements coming to the channel here soon, and I'm hoping to get all that up and started going. We're gonna get this podcast up on Spotify very soon. I promise you guys, so you guys
Nice.
can
Oh yeah.
run and listen to us in the car and stuff like that. Because I know some of you guys don't have YouTube Music like I do, so you can
Mhm.
listen, or YouTube Premium, so you can listen on the go. But I'm definitely gonna do that. He's Walter Slapadelic. You can follow him at Slapadelic my fault. And
Yep.
then of course
On everything.
on everything
On everything.
at Walter
Everything.
Slapadelic.
Yeah.
Spotify, Walter Slapadelic on Spotify, all that stuff. My name is Curtis. You can follow me at Cali from the Dojo. You can check out my stuff on Sports Gamers Online. My my writings and on our YouTube channel. So yeah, man, appreciate you guys stopping by, checking us out, and we'll check you guys later. All right.